Coach, I'll just kind of start with like I did with the players. Just kind of going back to Wednesday. Your thoughts on Wednesday's match and kind of how the progression that you've seen maybe produce what we saw Wednesday and how that translates going forward.
I think the most positive thing about Wednesday was it made it 3 in a row matches that we've been competing at a really high level. I know we didn't get the result we were wanted against Penn State, but credit our team, they were playing great. We were battling, and I was super proud of them after that match. And I didn't want to take away like, hey, this is a moral victory for us because we want to be able to talk about winning. Like that's the stage that we're at right now. And then to come out and play really well against UCLA on Wednesday was awesome. It's tough to win. It's even tougher to win on the road in a kind of awkward midweek match, right? So I thought it was a stellar performance by us, probably one of our best overall team performances. But I don't know, like maybe our best performance was the Penn State match. I thought it was really, really good. So again, for us, it counts as one. You guys have heard me say that all season. And so what's important now is we have good film review, have good preparation for Wisconsin.
Things you guys did differently maybe as opposed to earlier in the season coming into this hard stretch of games between Minnesota, Penn State, and then UCLA?
I think one of the biggest differences has been in our training. We've done a little bit less block training with like hit lines, or what I mean by blocked is like, hey, you're going to run these routes today, and this is all you're going to do. We've had a lot more trying to be creative, trying to create more transition opportunities. And we talk about it like this. It's like, you want to throw the same fastball every time, or do you want to play catch with a wide receiver? And so we're trying to play catch with our hitters a little bit more and get them more available in transition.
What was it like for you this past week, going back to Poly and going back to Westwood?
Yeah, it was, to be perfectly honest, it was special. I hadn't been back there except for as a fan. I've been to a couple men's volleyball games, but haven't competed there since my last game there. And so it was really cool to be back in Poly and to have that experience. And my coach came out, my brothers, my whole family was there, and it just created a really cool environment for us to be a part of. And I know Maya and Marley and Alana got to play in front of their families, in front of their home for their last game of the year probably. So I thought it was special for all of us. Yeah.
Speaking of Alana, like what did that game show in terms of her growth, especially from serving?
I feel like we've had so many other indicators that she can do this at this high level, right? And I think, when she gets the ace on match point, like we get a little obsessed over it, but I think she's been doing this for a bunch of matches in a row now. Really, like her, if you want to find like a specific tangible inflection point with her serving, it was probably Illinois. And she didn't serve great in that match, and since then, she's been pretty great.
It's really hard to come in as a setter and work with 5 different new faces on the court, and there's obviously been so much discussion about how this team is so new, but Cora Taylor has done a fantastic job, and she just emphasized that communication with the offense has been a big point for her. What have you seen from her that's improved throughout the season that you liked in these recent stretch of games?
Everything has to do with her skill with managing relationships and her skill with her own body language and what she's giving. I think she's grown so much in leadership in that standpoint. And I think one of your primary jobs as a setter is to distribute hope all the time. Like whether you're down by 10, up by 10, it's your job to distribute hope. And so I think, yes, there's technical things that we want to keep working on. There's a couple areas of location and like we would call it a medium pass or a 2-pass situation that we want to keep improving on. But she's out there for a reason. She's out there because we know she can, run a 5-1 at this level. And I think that's a strong vote of confidence from our staff because she is an undersized setter, but she's competing at such a good level that we need her out there.
Reese Shepherd has had 3 of the best matches of her career so far, and I'm just curious, what gave you the confidence to play her or to start her going back a couple weeks ago, and how have you seen her develop to where she's playing right now?
Yeah, I think Cora might have mentioned it earlier, but her serve receive has really been pretty good throughout the year, and so it was just like can we clean that up just a little bit? And then how much can she invest in her defense and on that side of the ball? And so that was the part that was behind when she got here, but she's done a nice job of developing and getting better and learning every day.
Offense heading to Sunday.
Man, it's pretty interesting because you can't not talk about Mimi, right? Sorry, my wife's calling me. Because she's getting such a heavy distribution and she's point scoring at such a high level, right? The things that she is doing are pretty incredible, you know, and the year that she's put together, not only at Wisconsin, but the career that she's put together at Oregon, right? So it's hard not to talk about Wisconsin without first mentioning her. But there's people surrounding her that are very, very skilled. Okay, you got Grace Egan, who made her first appearance after being hurt for a little bit, and she was playing at a really high level before she got injured. You've got two phenomenal middles, and Andrews and Booth, you know, and they have great size in the middle. And then you've got Una, who's a fellow Serbian, you know, so Eva and Senya will get to say hi to her here shortly. But they are very well-rounded as far as their personnel, but their distribution is obviously weighted towards Mimi.
Maybe you mentioned Eva just now, but just you talked about the relationship between Cora and the pins, but we've seen kind of this uptick in terms of the middle production with Eva and Holly. You talk about those two in particular, just like what you've seen from them and the growth and maybe what they're maybe adding to their tool belt over as we progress through the season.
Yeah, again, I think it's a result of like them working really, really hard, but also us changing the way that we've trained a little bit. I mentioned earlier, like going away from such a blocked training where we're just working on specific routes to a lot more creative freedom from Cora and just from our setting group in general and the middles. I think maybe the comparison is giving your slot receiver an option and giving, you know, more the ability to throw that route on any opportunity that he has, right? And so same type of thing with what we're trying to do with our middles and trying to give them some more freedom to get them a little bit more distribution. But the flip side of that is we've got to dig and pass well enough to get them the ball, right? And so UCLA, the part that goes maybe not talked about enough, was our best passing performance by far. We had multiple people passing over a 2.5 in that match, and I thought it was a really nice performance from, you know, all of our serve receivers. And Natalie has kind of been an unsung hero. She switched into a DS role while Reese went to the full-time bro, but her overall touch in Zone 6, her overall touch in serve receive specifically against UCLA was pretty stellar.